I feel like the society that we live in, like there's no doubt about it. Like we all are pretty greedy. We are some greedy mofos. But my question is, do you think we will ever be satisfied?
Well, if I could answer, I think being satisfied is measured by one's standard for what they believe success is. I mean, the issue comes in when we start to examine the kind of like music and society we've grown up in, you know. And there are a lot of good things that come from, you know, listening to hip-hop and being a part of the hip-hop community. But one of those ill things that come from being in the hip-hop community is that it kind of grooms men to want to only be the man. You know what I mean? You want to be the one. And then it does, well, on the flip side for the sisters, it make them want to be that one, you know, that B. They want to be that woman that everybody turn their head to, you know, when they walk in the room. That do want to be the one. So then now you find yourself positioning yourself to be someone who wants to compete in life rather than finding your own measurement of happiness. Right. You know what I mean? And so, again, I used to, you know, it used to be this thing for me where I felt like, you know, time was running out and I felt like the end was right around the corner, you know what I mean? You know, but, you know, then I look back and I just recognize that, you know, I'm somebody that comes from poverty, you know what I mean, poverty. You know, I come from the ghetto, and if you're looking at the social constructs of and all the things that come with the ghetto, it being socially engineered to make sure black men fail, to make sure black women fail, and then to be able to look beyond all that and maneuver through all those obstacles and still have a measurement of success at all, just to be able to breathe and have children and look at them and or be able to work successfully and take care of yourself. And, you know, I come up amongst a lot of peers, and a lot of them, man, they just looking like, you know, really bad. They strung out on a certain drug, or they alcoholics, or they just unhappy as far as it pertains to their relationship. There's a lot of things that they are personally feeling like they're failing in. And from my vantage point, I say, knowing that where I come from, not to compete with others, but to realize that it could have went a whole nother way by examining their life. If everybody understand what I'm saying. It's not me saying I believe my life is better.
Hey, Mikael.
It's me.
Hey, Mikael, I didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of what you were saying, but I'm hearing that it's an echo in the back. Is one of y'all on speaker or something?
I don't hear no echo.
I don't hear it either, but I'm getting feedback that people that listen is an echo when y'all talking.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't know. I don't hear anything.
Yeah. So if y'all, okay. So while y'all are speaking, you might need to get off a speaker, because I'm not hearing it either. But apparently on air is an echo. So hopefully we excuse that. So hopefully that gets taken care of. But go ahead, brother. I just wanted to go in there because I want people to feel what you're saying. But go ahead.
Not to be competitive with others who may have kind of failed by the wayside, but it's just realizing that the ghetto that was socially engineered for us, the things that we were supposed to be coming from those environments, you know, and then to look that, you know, I pretty much work for myself, got a family, I take care of my family, I'm able to provide for my family. I'm not supposed to be there, you know. It's only when I start to, look at, and I get caught up with what they call the Joneses. I know I went to an old term, what they call the Joneses. You know what I mean? You're trying to keep up with a whole lot of things that people say you're supposed to be a part of if you are successful in this day and age. Those are the things that I have to find myself getting away from, you know, and fighting against more so as you get older, you know, because when you're younger, it's pretty easy, you know what I mean, especially when you're able to live with your mama and, you know, you ain't got no bills like that. So it's pretty easy to keep fresh, fly, and et cetera. But then when you get a little older and you got more responsibilities, that becomes a little bit more of an obstacle. And so now, sometimes you got to go without because you got to pay a bill.
Right.
But again, that contentment part that says, you know what, I got to start becoming happy with the fact I was able to take care of that bill and not become so down because I wasn't able to kind of splurge or do whatever based on that bill, So that's what I feel like. I feel like as we get into our latter stages in life, and that's the thing. We sitting here like in our 30s, and we acting like we ain't got like 30 or 40 more years ahead of us. I mean, if we hitting the gym right and eating right, we got about 30, 40 more years ahead of us. Death ain't around the corner. We don't need to be thinking like that. That's how I always believe. I believe that I got 30, 40, 50 good more years ahead of me.
I hear that.
And so I just keep that. I just keep that in mind.
Word. I guess I would answer it like this. It depends what you mean by satisfied. I think in certain areas, I can be satisfied, like relationship-wise, and material things. Like I don't need a crazy amount of material things. Just, a house that's, keep me warm, and just as long as I could provide for my family, I could be satisfied with that. But there's some things I don't think I'll ever be satisfied in, no matter how long I live. One of the things is just learning. I always feel like it's something else to learn. I'm never going to be satisfied with the knowledge I have. And
right.
Even once I reach a certain status, I guess I would be satisfied if I reached a status like this. If it's something I really want to do and I'm just able to do it. I guess I could break it down as simple as that. Like, if I feel like, hey, I want to go to, like I just did Ancestry.com. I found out the majority of my DNA, or the highest percent of my DNA is from Ghana. I could just fly to Ghana when I want to, or something like that. Something simple like that. Or make it even more simple, be able to change somebody's life, like especially youngsters, so they won't have to make the same mistakes that I made growing up. That would give me satisfaction, because one of the things I'm doing is I want to work on this mentoring program, because one of the reasons I think some of us end up in this so-called crisis is because it's a lack of guidance out there and just not exposed to certain things. I think we did a show like this last year, not specifically like this, but we just talked about how black people are not exposed to certain fields. And oftentimes once we get older, we're like, oh, I didn't even know about that. And a lot of times we playing catch up. So I feel like the more careers, the more things in general. It doesn't even have to be career-wise. Just the more things in general you're exposed to when you're younger can help you make a decision then, instead of when you get older. My wife, me and my wife talk about this all the time. Matter of fact, she's like in the next room, and we talk about this all the time. About she's in pharmacy school. Like, she wished she would have knew about pharmacy before, because she had to get a bachelor's degree in something unrelated. And, even though she got to pharmacy school, like, she probably would have been done by now if, she was exposed to it earlier. Just simple stuff like that. And, like, for myself, I changed majors like 3 times because I was undecided and didn't really have a direction I wanted to go. And what it does, it makes you kind of feel like you behind. It's like you getting anxiety. It's like you living with constant anxiety, because it's like, man, I should be further ahead, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I think something like that is definitely needed in our community, for sure. So I answered the question like that. Like, once I'm able to help people do that, and just, being able to do what I want to do, I can be mainly satisfied.
Yeah, but
no.
Go ahead, Ms. Baaba. I ain't want to cut in. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I think a small part of not being satisfied is actually a good thing, though. I think you should have a certain fire and desire to want to progress more. I think it just has to be balanced. You know, you have to measure it properly and balance it so that I don't even know what type of word I'm trying to use. Okay, being dissatisfied.
you did this twice.
I'm just making up words and everything. Being dissatisfied.
Dictionary later.
Yeah, being dissatisfied doesn't become something that depresses you, or or dampens your spirit somewhat. You know, I think that you should have something you want to live for. You should have something that you always want to aspire to. You know, even if you get to the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, I feel like retirement is not something you should look forward to as a human being. I think you should always want to do something.
Right.
I don't think, I look at people weird when they have those talks with me, like they say, oh, I can't wait to that day where I can just sit up and not do nothing. I don't ever want to find that day. I want to always do something. My goal, what my biggest goal in life is? It's not even to have no mansion. It's not to have millions of dollars. You know what my biggest goal in life is? To never be that old guy that cannot operate. That's my biggest goal in life. I do not want to be getting pushed around. I do not want to be sitting up there funky and my great-great-grandchildren coming in looking at me with a disgust face. I do not want that. I dread that so much. I do not want to get my diaper changed. I don't. When I get to that point, just pull the plug. I want to live, man. I want to live every second. I want to be the first granddaddy that can get out there and play ball with his grandchildren. That's my goal. The day you got to push me around and give me medicine all day and change my diaper and I can barely speak, that day comes, just go and pull the plug on me. For real. For real.
I understand.